Hello and welcome. You're watching FI. I am Sonal Mehrotra Kapoor. Now, the Delhi government has reduced the circle rate for the categories of properties, all categories of properties actually. So, circle rate has been slashed by a whopping 20% for residential, commercial, industrial properties, all for the next 6 months. Now, this is said to be a huge support of the real estate sector. In fact, a slash like this has not been seen in a long time. So on FII today, we'll try and understand what exactly is circle rate and how exactly is this recent cut going to impact the cost of home buying for you and me, also for selling of properties in the capital. It is said to be a minimum price at which the property has been registered in case of its transfer. These rates are decided by the state governments and then are revised from time to time according to the market dynamics, as they say. In fact, circle rates differ within the city as well. So different localities and areas have different circle rates, okay, in which tells you actually which areas, properties, neighborhoods are more expensive than the other. Now, initially, circle rate had importance, during registry of a property only. But now that's changed a little. I'll tell you how during the course of the program. So a property is registered either on the actual transaction rate or the circle rate, whichever is higher. Now, in most cases, and that you'll see across the country actually, the actual rate you pay is mostly higher than the circle rate of the entire area. But is highly exhausted or secondary markets like the national capital, it's actually the opposite, where in certain areas the circle rate is actually much higher. And the current move that we're talking about that has been brought in by the Delhi government, this move is likely to balance that out really. How will this reduced circle rate now benefit you? Let's talk about that now. So when you register a property, you have to pay a stamp duty charges. The reduction in the circle rate will lead to lower stamp duty. And this move, if you see, compounded by the fact that now there are lower housing rates and lower housing loans that are available right now, said to be lowest in more than a decade actually. Along with that reduction in stamp duty, along with that, the budget announcement for 2021 that remember said that in case the difference between the circle rate and the transaction rate is up to 20%, there will be no additional tax liability on the buyer or the seller. Earlier, this limit was 10%. So all these factors put together, if you see, tells you that India at the moment is in a very exciting space when it comes to property. So what should you be doing? Well, I'm sure that's the question on your mind, and we've got experts for you taking you through all of that. So we'll have Samir Jasuja today joining us. He's the founder and CEO at Prop Equity. He's been doing a lot of research into how exactly and what are the plans looking like, what are the trends looking like in Delhi, NCR and across the country as well. Abhinav Joshi, head of research at CBRE India, is with us. Bhupendra Singh, member of the FICCI Real Estate Committee. And also we have Naveen Raheja, the CMD for the Raheja Developers. Now, before I start, let me bring out the graphic for you that actually tells you the story of property and how it has changed, say, in the last few decades or so, and how it traveled. If that graphic can come up on the screen, I'll just explain quickly that. But before that, let me tell you what currently is the rate that's looking like. So currently on your screen are earlier rates and then the revised rates as well. Now, this is basically to give you an idea about how much this 20% actually translates into in terms of INR on land rates. So what you have on your screens are localities divided in 8 different categories from A to H, A being the most affluent one in Delhi. These are only Delhi rates, remember. So if you see category A, earlier it was 7.74 lakhs and now it's come down to 6.19. If you look at the lowest there in H category from 23,280, it's come down to 18,000 or so. If you change that graphic now, you'll be able to see not just in land revised rates, in residential construction rate, what is the change? Significant change there as well. Now, there you see category A from 21,960, it's come down to 17,568. In H, the bottom is actually from 3,480 to 2,784. You see a similar trend in when it comes to commercial construction as well, and those figures on the screen for you as well. So looking at that significant change, keeping in mind what the loans are, looking at mind and keeping in mind what the excise duty also is this a good time to buy property in Delhi? Is Delhi actually going to be affordable for a lot of people? Let me take that question first up to Sameer Jasuja. Sameer.
Well, Sonal, good evening and good evening to all the viewers. I think this is a step in the right direction, but it is falling a bit short because if you look at the multiple localities in Delhi, the variance in pricing is way too high. So you've categorized, say, colonies in category A, which range anywhere from 3 lakh rupees a square yard, going up to 10 lakh rupees a square yard. Now, there is enough data available in the market, and especially with the Delhi government, to be able to compartmentalize or be able to segregate the colonies and have special circle rates or different circle rates for different colonies. It's not that difficult to do. Like they've categorized it for 8 categories, they can do it for many more. You know, that's not too difficult. However, it's a step in the right direction. There were a lot of transactions that were stuck. They were not getting done because the circle rates mismatch with the real property rates was very, very high. And the sellers were particularly scared that the income tax department will come knocking on their doors if they were to sell at market rates lower than the circle rates. That's one fact. B, that Delhi is a heavily driven secondary market where cash transactions also used to happen. You know, and that also used to create a big variance, and that's why the circle rates were always kept higher to avoid cash transactions. But that has slowly over the past decade reduced a lot, and I would say in pretty much 80% of the transactions are now happening all check, which is a big step towards transparency and towards creating less opaqueness in the market. So my suggestion to the government would be that they should look at every micro market separately and come out with separate circle rates. B, what we've seen in Mumbai, stamp duties have actually been cut by 3%. And the revenues for the government have almost increased by 40%. The number of transactions went up from 130,000 in October to 250,000 in December, just because of a 2% or a 3% stamp duty reduction. Here, there has been no stamp duty reduction. Yes, effectively, there is a 1% drop if you reduce the 20% number. But still, if the government can make take certain more steps in reducing the stamp duty, it will go a long way for transactions to happen, for the government to fill up its coffers through the stamp duty fees that they collect and the registration fees that they collect. In addition to that, there will be more transactions in the market, which will create, real estate markets to be able to efficiently function. Today, they are not being able to efficiently function because of these high circle rates, even though there's been a 20% reduction.
Right. So very key issues there being pointed out by Sameer. Let me also bring in Abhinav Joshi over here. Abhinav, we are looking at property rates, and please confirm that for me. Is this the lowest that we've seen property rates come up to in Delhi NCR in, say, over a decade or so? I just wanted to understand that first. And then, like Sameer said, then a blanket cut of 20%. Does that make sense to a place like Delhi, where we see there are like 10 Delhis in one, right? When you look at the property here, does that even work for a place like Delhi?
I think, in terms of property rates, yes, this could be amongst the lowest in the past 10 years, because first half of the decade, we saw a huge jump in property prices. There was a fair amount of appreciation in the entire Delhi NCR market. But somewhere around 2014 onwards, we saw that, momentum was being very, very subdued. And in the last couple of years, prices have been largely stable. So if they've slashed the rates by about 20%, I think that's a very, very aggressive move, and we should celebrate it for sure. Entirely because of the reasons, highlighted by Mr. D'Souza, the fact that primarily in central and south Delhi, there are several instances where, market values are lower than circle rates, and that was impacting the cost of property transaction. And if we just compare this to the state of Maharashtra, there, once the decision of stamp duty cut was announced, from that perspective, till the end of the year, let's say from the October to the December period, the jump in housing sales in cities like Mumbai and Pune is anywhere from 200 to 300% between the fourth quarter and the third quarter of 2020. And it's almost similar to pre-COVID levels.
Right. I think but you think what worked for Maharashtra will work for Delhi?
I think it should. I think it's an opening. It's a bold move. We should celebrate. And also the fact that, we're primarily a resale market, and there are several HNIs or investors or even home buyers, genuine home buyers who've been sitting on transaction closes, or just fence sitters, who've not been taking decisions, primarily because of these anomalies and the additional tax liabilities at their end, I think they would definitely jump to the market. And a very important point that I wanted to highlight is that this is time bound. So it's only for a 6-month period or something like that till September 30th. And I think that would also have a huge impact on the jump in transaction velocity.
Right. So if Delhi is taking any cue from Maharashtra at all, what you'll see is that in Maharashtra you saw a slash rate from 5%, it came down to 3%. And now after that window was shut, it's still, it's on a buying and selling spree right now. So that's something of a model that Delhi is testing at the moment, what it seems like. Let me also get in Bhupendra Singh now. Bhupendra, so which segment do you see having the maximum impact with these slashing rates?
All right. Hi, Sonal, and good evening to all the viewers. I think this is largely going to be impacting the residential sector. This is no doubt about it. Residential is something which has been, the transactions have only been declining over the years. People have been shying away from doing transactions. Sellers especially, they've been caught out with this differential in the circle rate and the actual market pricing. There's no doubt about it, Sonal, that the market is only going to be impacting the residential user. There may be pockets of retail beneficiaries in this one, but that is probably give it some more time because the people are still coming out of the COVID scenario. But however, this is a great opportunity, and the entire endeavor is, I think, to provide a shot in the arm. And there couldn't have been a better timing, probably, right after this budget and this conversation picking up. The markets are coming back. People are wanting to come back to work. I think it's a shot in the arm, and we'll see a lot of transactions happening, a lot of genuine sellers and genuine buyers. This is not going to benefit the people who probably underwrite or stockists, etc. But this is for the genuine sellers and the genuine buyers. It couldn't be better than this, actually.
Right. I have to take a break, but before that, I just want to bring in Samir on this fact. Samir, we've seen a sort of attitudinal change in the way people are looking at property now post-COVID. Okay, even residential property, commercial property, there is an entire over and a rethink of sorts that's happening. Keeping that in mind, keeping also the fact that one state after the other seems to be slashing rates now, what do you think are these major changes or trends emerging at the moment?
Well, the first trend that one is observing is that people are looking for bigger homes. This work from home culture is seeming to set in, especially for smaller organizations. And in that case, people are wanting to see if they can upgrade their space into a slightly larger one. That's one trend that is going to play out in the next couple of years. Affordability, I would say that prices over the last 5 years have not moved up at all. So people are now, there are no investors in the market. They may just come back. But end users have kind of got the best opportunity to buy into real estate. Let me share a very interesting data point with you that I have been in real estate for 23 years, and I analyzed Delhi's real estate, and Delhi has grown in terms of price appreciation by 20% compounded till 2014 from 1970s. So if you bought in 1970s or you bought in 80s or 90s, you had a 20% year-on-year growth that has been witnessed in the pricing. It has completely stopped for the last 5 years, and that is going to encourage people to look at Delhi's real estate again, especially with respect to this stamp duty, this reduction in circle rates. But these are the true broad trends. The real estate market surprisingly are looking up. Inventories are going down in the market because there's been no new supply that has been coming. There's been a lot of consolidation by developers that has happened. So net, I would like to say that real estate supply is coming down and demand is going up. Genuine demand is going up. And investors it's yet to be seen if investors come back into the market with this stamp duty cut.
Right. It's interesting you say what you say about the demand. We've got a graphic actually that tells you how it's gone up or down in major metros across the country as well. But we'll come back to that graphic on the other side of this very quick break. Welcome back. We're discussing all things property when it comes to the national capital and trends that are emerging across the country, especially both the budget announcements, also the home loans being at an all-time low, and what exactly is happening in Maharashtra and Delhi specifically. Now, let me go back to Samir. Samir, before we went on break, you were talking and making the point about the amount of sales that we've seen in the market in Delhi and in Maharashtra also, for instance. But let me bring out to you the sales figures for the last quarter, for Q4 that we saw, wherein you see that Delhi NCR is the only region where sales have actually decreased in Q4 compared to, say, Q3. Why do you think that's happening?
Well, that's happened because of multiple reasons. One has been the biggest reason has been the erosion of trust with respect to the developers in the NCR region, where maximum projects that were launched between 2013 to 2017 never saw the end of the day in terms of completion. That led to a complete erosion of the investor wealth as well as investors going out of the market totally. There was an oversupply situation that got created from 2010 to 2013. NCR launched 190,000 units alone in 2010, 11 and 12, which has come down to 20,000 units. So you can see it's come down by 8x, literally. And that has been the prime reason why real estate in Delhi transactions have decreased, because there has been an oversupply. We were overbought. It's a stock market parlance, but it's rightly to be used in real estate when it comes to the NCR region. Everybody bought five properties. Housing loans, they took housing loans and they got stuck very badly because neither could they get the project in which they had invested in terms of a home, or neither could they exit out of that project. And we are paying a huge price in terms of zero price appreciation over the last 5 years in the NCR market because of that fact alone. And coupled with the fact that, that the investor, which was the biggest community in the NCR region across India, 60% were investors and 40% used to be end users. Suddenly, the 60% fell off the cliff. And that's why number of transactions in the NCR region have dropped significantly lower. And today, Delhi and NCR rank amongst the top 12 cities as 10, 11 and 12, literally. That's where we are right now.
That's right. So that's a bit of a context that is important to remember actually when we talk about Delhi and NCR region. Let me bring in Abhinav as well. Abhinav, your thoughts on how exciting does this make a market space, Delhi and NCR for that instance? Let's talk about Delhi first and then you can talk about NCR separately. At this time, at these present times, how exciting is this time for people who are end users and also investors?
I think it's a pretty exciting time. There are several enablers if you look at it. The mortgage rates are at an all-time low. There have been several stimulus measures announced by the government. The private developer community has been very, very accommodative, in the sense there are several attractive schemes on offer. So despite the economic context, we have seen a jump in sales. And, I totally agree with Mr. D'Souza that in the West and in the South, that jump is much more substantial. Because there were structural issues with Delhi NCR's residential market. But in this context, for the government to go out and announce a cut in circle rates, which could have a potential impact on market values as well, I think, as I said earlier, there are a lot of fence sitters out there who've been deploying their capital in the equity markets who might want to take a relook at real estate, especially in some of the posh residential areas in the city. As far as, rest of NCR is concerned, it's primarily Gurgaon and Noida, more or less, primary market activity over there, where, as rightly said, there is a lot of overhang, inventory which is lying unsold. And in fact, in recent years, whatever transactions we've seen or sales we've seen is mostly in the affordable segment. That's done pretty well in the outer areas of Gurgaon or Noida. But in Delhi, again, the other big problem is you hardly have any primary supply. It's mostly a resale market. And because of extremely high property prices and circle rates, even that market had a pretty subdued momentum over the past couple of years. So I think
actually, just to note, Delhi has seen some exciting players come in. I know DLF has got a couple of projects coming up in West Delhi. We also know GK2 is something that they invested in some time back. Those are also nearing occupation at this occupying at this point. Let me also bring in Bhupender Singh. Bhupender, last few seconds on the program. So I just want to understand from you, at this point when people are looking at, there is a lot of money in the market to be deployed. How exciting is the real estate sector compared to the others at this point?
Well, That's a very good question. There can be no better time to spend your money in real estate. Probably because I think the government is enabling, they want more and more activity to be happening. Plus, I think the crux of the situation comes out is that Delhi has been a secondary market and people have always had the money for it, but obviously this gap between the circle rate and the real pricing was restricting a lot of transactions, places like Maharani Bagh, Friends Colony, these areas. There are transactions in the taking, but it wasn't moving around.
Sure.
I think it's going to just, boost up the whole thing. And I think wherever you have these kind of situations get created, I think this is an example for the entire country and other governments to look at. I don't think
In
this
fact,
is
that's a good note to end the program on. What Maharashtra did, what Delhi is doing now, will that be replicated across the country as well? That's a space we're watching out for. For the moment, thank you, gentlemen, for joining us with your thoughts. That's it on FYI today. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.